Hi everyone, today it's Tuesday the 14th of March. Yesterday we were finishing off the part 2 at the Crown Point Estate. Had a great time there, thanks to Tom. So today I thought I'd show you the KW Farm Services bucket because it's been on the farm for 10 years now. It's a 10-year anniversary, and we'll show you as well Bob Wright where they make these fodder beet buckets locally in Norfolk. So a Norfolk built bucket. It's got the auger in the middle, you grind up the beet and it comes out this chute here. It's got a stone trap system on the side and then it shoots out. So we use this every day to feed the cattle. And if you remember earlier on in the year, Paul Stent came along, harvested all of the fodder beet, which has kept really well. We stored the beet with the straw on the top and put it on there by hand, rolled that bale out, and it's worked really well because it's managed to keep the beet for quite a long time. It's still hard in places, there's hardly any rotten beet because it's been, luckily as well, quite cold, so it hasn't been too mild. So every day we pick up a bucket full, grind it out with the cattle, and that's what I'm going to be showing you today. So this was back in the day when we first bought this bucket, the Technical Innovation Award back in 2013. So we're now that was at the Highlands show, and now of course we're in 2023, so that was 10 years ago, and made in Trunch. There is the information if anyone is interested in these buckets. They're really good, and like I say, we've had it for 10 years. See, when the ground gets wetter, we have to put the fodder beet chopped like that into the trailer, and then we cart it out and take it out by hand to the sheep once the fields are a bit wet, because otherwise the telehandler will cut up the ground. But for the most part, that's sort of what we're feeding out, is crushed up beet. It's like almost like a pulp, and we've been feeding it like this for years, and it works really well. So lovely sugary smell to it as well. Alright, so later on in the week we're going to go down to Trunch and we're going to go and see how Bob Wright's KW buckets are made. Hopefully it'll be insightful, and we'll see the Norfolk buckets being made. So right now we're just going to the biomass boiler because it's got a blockage. I think the ash pan's clogged up, which has to be emptied every month. Alright, so we've emptied the ash pan out in the boiler. We have to do that probably once every month in the winter when it's really busy, the boiler, and probably once every 2 months in the summer. It's a job which has got to be done, and then we spread the ash on the land normally. So it's a lovely sunny day. It's starting to feel a little bit more like spring now, and as you can see here, these are some panels which we've got for a new project. Where some of this hard standing is, we're going to be putting like a horse arena, and part of the reason the other day when we went to Lewis Concrete was to get the concrete wall which will go there, and it's hopefully going to separate the two, if that makes sense, because one problem with livestock farming and also the horses is that, you know, the tractors can squeak the horses and all that sort of thing. So the idea is that the wall and the panels, it'll be like their own horse area, and it will just separate the farm from the horses a bit. That's sort of the idea, but whether it's going to work or not, I don't know. I hope it does. But so anyway, we've got these panels and we put this black material on, drilled the panels down, and we're hoping that it will last and it will screen off where the horses are, and then when we put those Lego blocks up as well, it will separate the two, which will work out quite nicely. So I've just got these last ones to put down now with the Manitou, and we will be getting somewhere. It's nice to have a bit of warm weather because it's been so cold recently. I'm hoping to get that barley up out of the ground. It is up now, but we're hoping to get it rolled in before long. So we'll go and pop those rollers out of the shed. Unfortunately, the tow hitch on the John Deere on the 6R is broken at the moment, so I'm not sure whether we'll be able to work it out, but we will somehow work those rollers. Concentration. There we go. and then I'll get the box on soon. It's that time of the year now. We're taking some ewes and lambs out. We've got some cattle going out April as well. It's been a little bit wet this week to get the livestock out, but some will start going out before long. We are running out of silage as well. Almost used a lot of that bought in stuff we got the other day. And of course when the sun comes out, it's so bright in this cab. I got a problem with my eyes. They don't like the sensitive light from the sun. So that's, if you wonder why I always have sunglasses, that's why I always have them, to get the sunlight out of my eyes. And my granddad had the same problem, so he used to have to wear like sunglasses all the time as well. So it's only when the sun comes out really that it affects my eyes, but it's sort of like a family condition sort of thing. Okay, so we've sort of had a shuffle around in the what we call the grain store. Here's of course the trusty steed, the 135. I know you guys ask about her a lot. We'll come out again in the summertime hopefully. And then I put the front loader here over the weekend, and if you have a look, this is my old potato crate, and the potatoes have started to chip now, so they've kind of had their best day. I'll give the rest of those to the cattle, chuck them through the bucket. And I've dropped the front loader off because I sort of need it off now, because we're going to go and cart some livestock. The Defender's home most of the time. It stays in here with the 135, and it's done about 37,000 miles now. Use it every day, and it's been as good as gold. And then over here you'll see this is the indoor straw. We've got about 7,500 bales left, and I'm going to use these for bedding down. So there's some good bales to put through the Teagle Talahawk, which we've got coming on demo. At the moment I'm setting up the farm stream to keep an eye on these cattle. We've only got a few left to calve. Did have the jack out the other night. We had another one which we had to calve. As you can see, we've got the front loader off at the moment because, like I say, we're about to go carting. This is the smaller jack which we used the other night. It's quite a handy old jack to use, this one. Ready to use. So there's only about 5 left to carve. So happy when they've all calved and they've all gone out. They're Hector's offspring, our Aberdeen Angus bull, and it's our first year calving to the Aberdeen Angus. And touch wood, we've only used a calving jack on a couple, and they were heifers. So really happy with Hector. He's done a brilliant job so far. And they're not the most muscly calves in the world. They're not continentals or anything like that, but my God, do they grow when they come out. They're fast growers, and they've been relatively easy calving. They're these wonderful little black gems which come out. We've got Frisian Cross Angus, Frisian Cross Hereford cattle as well. So we like a bit of milk and a little bit of beef with our suckler herd. So kind of got some beefy dairy cattle, and they just sort of work as our main suckler cows. Just feels like we're sort of on the edge of spring, and then before we know it, we'll be heading down to summer, making all the silage down at the Broads this year. And we have got a faulty hitch. There's still that leaking issue, but I managed to, as you have seen there, I rocked back, clicked it in, so the pin's locked in, so it's not going to go anywhere. Right, so we're about ready to start taking some livestock out tomorrow. I was just looking here, this is the wrapper which we used, the Tanko wrapper, auto wrap. I didn't wash it off last year on purpose, because if you put it away when the wrapper's still wet, it'll rust everything up. So I've got a couple of bits here. There was a little nut which broke off the end, so I've got to re-thread that nut there because I over tightened it in the summer. And then I've got a new knife to go on there to make sure it cuts the wrap every year. Or I could sharpen that one up. I have got a couple of knee blades in the store, and then I'll get this all cleaned up and blowed off for making silage later on this year. I've got to get a bit more wrap. This is my little coon brake, which I can use to either ted the hay or I can row up as well. And then I've got these rollers here which are about to come out. The barley's getting there now. It's really starting to come out of the ground. Once the ground dries up, really, we'll be out with the rollers. Get that out tomorrow, get off, back on the road. Time of year, get some stock out for a change. See, we just come out here. These are the ewes and lambs which will be going out tomorrow. I would get out and film outside for you, but it's just so windy, as you would have found in Sunday's video when I was with Tom, when we were looking at the greenhouses. I do apologise about that. It was very stormy and very windy as well. So it's that time of the year. This field is, we call it the 9 acres field. Later on, towards the end of this week, on Friday, we're going to be looking at a McHale R3100 mower, which I'm really excited about as well. So we've got a couple of projects. And for anyone who was sort of asking about machinery, thanks for all of your comments about the Synchro 3030 the other day, about getting that changed for either a sumo tree or something else a bit more aggressive. So we'll look at that. I did look the other day, we've been looking at changing the Manitou later in the year. There's a few implements which I could invest in, which I could save the farm a lot of money on for contracting, and that really would be silage making, hedge cutting, and a little bit of cultivating as well. So there's 3 things there which really require investment, and at the moment the Manitou's great. We've got the windscreen replaced under warranty. We will later on in the year be looking at the new shed. We'll hopefully invest in a few more implements this year. We're starting to get some livestock back out to the Broads, and so far the weather's starting to change. Later on this week we'll be heading over to Bob Wright's to see the fodder beet buckets being made, and then the Teagle Telehawk demo, which has just been delayed because we're waiting for a small control box to go on our Manitou, if that makes sense. So it's just getting everything fitted and yeah, getting everything ready for the demo. So with that, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Still trying to fix that tanker. Got a part coming for it. Click here to subscribe to the channel, and click here to watch another Olly's Farm video.